Good day, brethren. This is a good captain from Captain's Custom Works, and I wanted to talk to you guys about some handmade instruments today. First one in this series that I want to discuss with you is known as an Akonting. Now, this is a precursor to the modern day banjo, and I'd be willing to bet that most of you probably made that assumption just upon seeing it. Biggest difference is that this instrument has 3 strings, whereas modern banjo can have anywhere between 4 and 6 strings, or others if people feel like making them that way. But I'm sure that most of you are probably most familiar with the 5-string banjo, which is the one with the knob in the middle of the neck that some really excellent bluegrassers will do some really cool things with. Now, this one also has knobs in the middle of the neck, though, you might notice, and that is because, unlike the banjo, the majority of the strings do not run to a headstock, but rather to places along the neck, which is how this one is tuned. You have shorter and longer strings providing different tones. Another thing about this is traditionally only the lowest string is fretted, although there's no frets, but like any sort of fretless instrument, it's held like that as if there was. So that splits this string into 3 notes, giving us the 5-note pentatonic scale. This one's tuned a little funny because I like funny things. This is tuned to a D, F sharp, and E. Now, traditionally you can tune these to almost anything, but like a lot of more traditional instruments, you'll find tunings that are more common in different regions. Now, this is an African instrument, or at least its, inspiration is. This is definitely my modern twist on it. I've obviously put tuning pegs, or modern style geared tuning machines, which traditional instruments would not have. I've also made this with a rectangular neck stock. They're traditionally round. They can be made of reed stalks or any other sticks. Even yard implement handles, rake handles, broom handles, that sort of thing, can make great traditional instrument necks, because that's the thing about traditional instruments. You make them out of what you have on hand. And what people would frequently have on hand for the bodies, as in a lot of traditional instruments, would be a gourd. This one has a steel body, much more like a banjo. I've also used a mylar head, whereas a traditional instrument of this nature would have a hide head. But I like the mylar. It gives it a little more banjo crossover. It's pretty heavy duty and provides the opportunity for some nice artwork, which can be done on the reverse, so you'll never ruin it when you're playing. Another difference is I'm using a thumb pick, like a banjo player might. However, these are traditionally played with what's known as a clawhammer banjo style, and not only am I not really any good at it, it doesn't appeal to me quite as much. I like it, but it doesn't flow as naturally. I kind of like the thumb pick style just because it's interesting. So I'm going to see if I can do a little bit of a demonstration for you. I'm not real great with this thing yet, but being a percussionist, I find it lends itself nicely to some rhythm playing, so I'm going to try to do some interesting rhythms on it, and you can get the idea how it might be expanded upon. In fact, I'll even throw a little bit of bass in there with my handy bass box and just spice things up a bit.